What's up, guys? Welcome to Demo with Mo. I'm your host, Monique Simmons. We'll be discussing dating, engaged, and married objectives from a young Christian's perspective. Are you guys ready? Let's dive in. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode of Demo with Mo. I am your host, Monique Simmons. And today we are starting our new series called The Journey of Love. And today I have a very special guest joining me. I'm really excited about today's episode. I have my girlfriend joining me, Miss Averi Leggett. Welcome, Miss Leggett.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. I am so glad you are here on today. Very appreciative for you even agreeing to do this episode with me. I would like to say, for those of you who are listening, this may be a little sensitive topic on today. I do want to give that notice even before we jump into this episode. We are going to be opening up the Journey of Love series, and it's going to be a little sensitive. Today, we're going to be talking about the journey of love and how sometimes that journey does not end the way we want it to end. And Avery, thank you so much for even agreeing to do this with me on today. Okay. Yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
You. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and jump in. I'm not going to hold you guys up any longer. So Avery, my first question for you on today is, how did you and your husband meet? How did you guys meet?
Okay. So I met Sean at Merle High School. Well, we went to two schools together. We went to Merle together and we went to Ridgeland High together. We dated when we went to Ridgeland High. I ended up moving back with my mom, so I ended up going to school at Bailey. So at that point, obviously, like, we were kids, we didn't have cars and all ways of seeing each other, so we ended up disconnecting once I moved schools, but we reconnected again on Facebook, I think in 2010, and we started dating after reconnecting on Facebook, and it just went from there. 2010, we were dating. 2011, I had Cameron, who is now 12 years old. So that was 12 years ago. And in between that time, we got engaged and we got married November 18th, 2011. And Cameron was born June 2011. So everything kind of happened very quickly. We already knew what we wanted and how we wanted everything to go. We didn't really have like an official huge announcement engagement. It was just kind of like an understanding, like, okay, we're doing life together, we getting married.
Gotcha.
And that's what we did. So we were married for 10 years before he passed away.
Okay, so you just gave me basically a full summary of you guys' life, love story, even before I even got into all of the questions, okay? So for my audience, you guys kind of have basically heard even what we're going to get into in the beginning, even before we even really dive into what we're going to be talking about. But as you guys have heard, Avery was married to her husband, Sean, for 10 years. And unfortunately, Sean passed away. And we're going to get into that a little bit more later in today's episode. But she has already gotten into the meat, but we're going to dig into it a little bit more. But Avery, I do want to ask you, how long were you guys together before you realized that Sean was the one? Like, how long did you realize, like, this is the man that I want to have a child with. This is the man I kind of want to spend my life with. I want to marry. I want to settle down with. How long were you guys together before you realized that?
Probably about 7 or 8 months. It was very
pretty
quick.
Quickly. Okay.
Yeah. It was very quick.
Okay, so what
and
quality?
He just always used to tell me, like, you're gonna be my wife, and I'll be like, boy, no, I'm not. He's like, yes, you are. And then we actually did it.
So not only did you know he was the one, he knew you was the one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So what qualities about Sean made you realize that he was the one that you wanted to be with, that you wanted to spend your life with?
Hmm.
What was it about him?
First, I'll say, like at that time when me and him were dating, like I already had one kid, and him and Austin like instantly had like a close knit relationship, and that was something that I was looking for. That was important to me, and whoever I was going to be spending time with. Period, was not that they just dated me, but I have a daughter and we are a package. So that they
Yeah.
also spent time getting to know her and just like pour into her, just like they do me. Not just like, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So mainly it was like the support aspect, and not only financially, even though he did come in and help a lot, but just being there when we needed him to be there to step in and bridge the gap of, me being a single parent. And also just like the safety aspect of what a man brings to the table. And it's just like no matter what, where we were, what we were doing, if we were mad at each other, like no matter what, we always felt safe, knowing that he was gonna protect us, whether it be from another person, a situation, whatever, we always felt safe with him. And then I guess like he was just really a laid back person. Nothing really made him upset, but you don't want to see him upset. But like he was just really a jokester and like always laughing, always cussing.
Yeah.
But like one thing about it, Sean, was real. Like nobody would be able to tell you that he showed them one thing and did something different when they weren't around. Like he had a lot of
Yeah.
integrity. So I already knew, like, even though he had his flaws, but to me, like, he was the perfect person for our situation.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. Okay. So let me ask you this. Because you guys, like you said, everything happened pretty quickly as you summarized in the beginning. With everything happening so quickly, what was some of the hardest adjustments for you in the beginning of marriage?
Hmm. Okay, so I'll say just the merging of households is
Yeah.
difficult because you really don't know a person for real until you live with them.
Yeah.
And I know, like, some people are like, I'm not gonna live with this person until we get married or something like that. I'm like, nah, I want to live with you before that. I want to see you in all seasons, just so I can know if this is something that I could deal with for the rest of my life. And we did that. Like, we lived
Yeah.
together in different apartments. We had different financial struggles together, and we accomplished a lot of things together too, as far as finishing college and getting into our careers and stuff like that. But yeah.
So merging households was the hardest adjustment.
Yeah, that's the hardest adjustment. It was merging households and families.
Oh yeah.
There was like some bumpy roads with in-laws and
Ooh.
even friends, like friends, and you go and talk to your friends, he go talk to his friends. And now when y'all get together, y'all don't know which way y'all want to go with anything that y'all facing because there's so many people in the mix, you know.
Girl.
So we just had to learn like to lean on each other instead of leaning on family and friends, to help us get through the things that we need to go through as a married couple.
Oh, that's some great wise advice, girl. How old were you guys when you guys got married?
Oh, wait, okay, I'm 34. 22. I was 22 and he was
22.
23.
Okay.
Yes,
So
very
yeah,
young.
you guys were young, just like Corey and I. So I can totally understand having to learn it as you guys got older. Okay.
Hmm.
You always hear be with someone who brings out the best in you. What
Hmm.
things did Sean bring out in you or teach you to love about yourself that maybe you didn't know before you guys got together?
One thing I could say, like Sean, even if we were having like bad times or whatever, he just be like make you laugh, like just make you live in that moment. Like whatever is coming tomorrow is gonna come anyway. So you might as well not be stressed about it and just relax. Like if they gonna take something, they gonna take it. If you ain't got the money, you just ain't got it. Like, why are you stressing out about certain things when life is gonna happen? And that was like something that he was really big on. Like, even if I could come to him and be like, I got good news and bad news. Which one you want first? And he just be like, it don't even matter. You know, which order you go in, the good and the bad is gonna happen. But like, I'm still gonna be here. We still got each other, and we're gonna get through whatever the situation is. So that's something that he taught me, just to keep it moving, basically, and smile through the process and be happy, and to make time for myself, because I always like pride myself on being a good wife, good mother, making sure that everybody else is good. And he used to always just be like, make sure that you do something for yourself sometime. And like,
Girl.
even when I wouldn't want to do it, he'll just like make sure that everything was done in a way you ain't got nothing else to do but that, because you know either you're gonna do it voluntarily, or okay, or something like, okay, well, I gotta go buy groceries, or I gotta do the laundry, and he be like, done, done, done. What else you got? Like, make sure that you have time for yourself. So.
Avery, that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. Avery, that is beautiful. Now, let me ask you this. And this was not one of my questions, but I just love that response. Have you been doing that well?
Oh, like recently?
Yes, in Sean's absence, have you been taking care of you the way he taught you to take care of yourself?
Oh, I'm working on it. Every day is, it's a journey. It's a learning experience. I do like get to do some things that I normally do, but for me, like things like getting your hair and your nails done, I think that's like, oh, not necessarily a requirement, but it's just part of the normal things that I do. So I don't even consider that being something like just for me, because I'm just the type of person who always have like kept myself in a certain way. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally
So when
understand.
I think about doing something for me, I'm talking about like going out, like spending intentional time, like by myself, like even if I just take myself to lunch or go to the
Yeah,
bookstore, because I love to read.
yeah,
And when do I have time to do that? Even now, like I'm taking a year off. I've been a teacher for about 10 years as well. I'm not working
yeah.
this year. And this was supposed to be the year that I'm focusing like on myself while my kids are at school and stuff. And even
Yes, it
now I find
was.
myself just being a homemaker and making sure that the food is done and the house is clean and the homework is done and everything. So even now I still just need to work on it. Just work on making time for myself. So to answer your question, I'll say probably about 75 or 80%. It's not at
Okay.
100 though.
Okay. Well, that's better than 0%.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this. Are you okay? And this is going to take it back a little bit from the high energy, but are you okay going back to the moments leading up to you having to prepare yourself to say goodbye to Sean?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that leading up to those moments?
Okay. So it was like summer of 2021. I think in June we had went on a date to this concert. It was the 85 South show with like I think DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, like some comedians, which are his favorite. Like he loved comedy. I really think that if he wasn't an engineer, and like he probably would have been a comedian, because Sean would have you laughing all day.
Yes.
Like, so we had went to this concert, and then they had like a shutdown from work for a week or so, and no, 2 weeks. Like in Nissan, they have like this shutdown where they shut down for 2 weeks during the summer. So he was off of work, and then that week when he went back to work, he was like on a Wednesday, he said that he had a headache. And Sean never even gets a common cold. Like he hardly ever gets sick. So I'm just like, man, it's COVID going around and stuff. I think you need to go get tested. Like, you never even get sick. And he was literally walking around saying, turn stuff down. Like, my head is hurting so bad. I don't want to hear no noise. I want to be in the dark, you know. And I told him to go and get tested. And he told me like that everybody who worked in the same area with him was kind of sick and stuff like that. And we had just came back, like I said, from their concert the weekend before, and he was sick. So he went, and they had said that he did have COVID. So he stayed at home for maybe like 2 or 3 days and was getting progressively worse. And I just kept on trying to make him go to the doctor, but he would not go to the doctor at all. He was just like, nah, if something gonna happen, this is our final goodbye, whatever. I wanted to happen at home and all this stuff. And like, I'm not the type of person that like to talk about death and stuff like that. But Sean always just wanted to talk to me and my kids about in his absence. And I'll just be like, will you hush? Like, we do not want to talk about that. But he always had conversations with them, about basically what said self and what not said self and the kind of man he was, especially with Austin. And if whoever she chose to be with wasn't the kind of man that he was, then he ain't the man for you, basically,
Yeah.
and have different conversations with me about what I needed to do in his absence and about just like finances and everything as a whole. So he kind of did like prepare all of us for his absence, but were we prepared when it happened, like mentally? No, we were not. So the day that I actually got him to go to the hospital was I came home and he was literally on the floor. He could not breathe or anything. So I was like, I don't care what you say, you going today. Like, I don't want to hear no, I want to stay home or none of that. Like, we're going. So I took him there. I dropped him off, and I think he was there for 4 days. And within their 4 days, at that time, COVID was new to everybody, so even the medications that they were giving patients was not even FDA approved yet. Like, some of it was still experimental and all of that. And they called me and they asked me, was it okay to give him a certain medication? And I'm like, well, you're the doctor, but if I have to consent and you feel like it's something that's going to get him better, then yes. So I said yes. And then
Yeah.
the next day, after they gave him that medicine, they called me back and said that he was going to need dialysis from now on because the medicines attacked his kidneys throughout the night. And now he had kidney failure. That was the first day. Then the next day, they called me back and said that he was on the ventilator. And I was like, what? At first, y'all was calling me saying that he was doing good. Now y'all calling me saying that he on the ventilator. And then 4 days from the time that I dropped him off, after that, she called me and she said that Sean had filled out paperwork saying that if something happened to him, that he did not want to be resuscitated. What did I want her to do? Because he had already coded like 2 times at that point. And I was like, I want you to try. So I stayed on the phone with them until they said that they could not bring him back. Like they said, they brought him back for a few seconds, but then they lost him again. And that was at 2:22 p.m. on August 9th, 2021 is when he passed away. So, yeah, I was literally on the phone when it happened. So, yeah.
I'm so sorry, Avery.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been over 2 years now.
Mm-hmm. It don't seem like it though. It really don't. Like, it's like time is like I know because I mean I'm an adult and I know the concept of time that it has been 2 years, but it does not seem like it has been 2 years since he passed away. It seems like maybe a couple weeks ago or something. Because like for us, like we still dealing with it at home every single day, me and our 3 kids. Everybody else is moving on with their normal lives and stuff, but
Yep.
they don't know like what me and my children have to carry in our backpacks every single day. So it seems like it just happened to us. And a lot of times I have to remember that even when I do things and say things to my children or around them and they get triggered and I'm just like, oh Lord, it been 2 years, but I mean that's not the thing to say because it might be 2 years to somebody else who wasn't
Yep.
like his immediate family, but we did life with him. We lived in the house with him. So Yeah.
Yep.
It has been a struggle.
And like you said, like even with me saying it's been 2 years, because that's just a timeline, because we're on the timeline, but grief doesn't have a it doesn't have a timeline. Like that was your husband. That was the
Right.
father of your children, you know.
Mm-hmm. Like grief, like for me, I think like it really do change people because I will tell you that me nor my children are the same people that we were when Sean was alive. So like when somebody that is put in place to lead you leaves and passes away, it's like, what do I do now? That was our covering, that was our leader, that was the man of you know, our household. So everybody is different, totally different people. Because even I have been on a trip with you. I have been
Yeah.
different places with different people, and y'all will say, well, "Who is this?" It's not the same person, and a part of you does die when a person dies, and everybody around you just kind of has to adjust to the person that you become after that. But yeah, what's your next question?
Hey, listen, for real. That is real. My heart goes out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk. Like my heart goes out to you because just being, even though I'm talking to you and I'm interviewing you, being your friend is different because
Mm-hmm.
knowing you, I've known you a long time. So
Mm-hmm.
knowing you before Sean, with Sean, and now knowing you on the other side of this is completely different. And I just have to, as you said, adjust with no judgment because life has happened to you. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
life has literally happened to you.
Yeah. And then it's just like, especially like with the whole time thing that we were talking about. Like, I really now, two things that I hate to hear people say, one of them probably don't even have nothing to do with this, is like, you got time. No, you don't. You do not
What?
know. You do not know when your time is going to come. You don't have time. Whatever you want to do it. Now, whatever you want to say to a person, if you want to rekindle a relationship or if you want something to end, like don't waste your time doing something or being with someone that you really don't want to be with because you just really don't know when your time is going to expire with that person. And then the
Girl.
other thing is everybody who be saying like, don't worry, like this person gonna be in a better place. That grinds my gears. Do you
Oh,
really know? Do you? I have a great idea of where he was going because he was a God fearing man. But at the end of the day, we not God. We don't really know. Especially when somebody passes away who was a hellraiser. Like we don't really know. Why do people say that? But anyway, that don't have nothing to do with what we're talking
no,
about.
when I say I appreciate both comments you just made, I appreciate them wholeheartedly. My pastor just talked about that on Sunday about stop telling people where people went when you know
Mm-hmm.
how they were living. Stop telling people that. Just stop doing that. Okay, so that first statement you just made, this leads into my next question. That's why I appreciate it so much. My next question to you: what advice would you offer to couples who may take one another for granted?
Oh, I could just speak from my own experience. And like now, let me tell y'all, my husband had me spoiled. When I say spoiled, I ain't even talking about the normal spoiled, like give you anything you want type of spoiled. I'm talking about when I tell you our whole relationship, I probably put gas in my car twice in 10 years. 10 whole years. Like I didn't have to get no kids up for school. He did that. Cooking, he did that. Like when I look back on our relationship, I'm just like, dang, was I even really the wife that I should have been? Because Sean did everything. And when he passed away, I think that's one of the reasons why, not necessarily I was. so sad or whatever. But yeah, why I was so sad because now I have to do everything. Like so many things that I took for granted that I didn't have to worry about, like any household chores, any discipline of the children, any homework, like so many things that you think may think like he's doing this, but he's not doing that. Like, Cheryl's doing everything. So yeah, just make sure that you appreciate the spouse that you have for who they are. And if it's something that you want them to work on, like talk to them about it. Don't talk to your friends about it. Don't talk to your family about it. Talk to them because they cannot change it. Only he can change it. Only God can change it. So yeah.
Girl, such great advice, Avery. Oh my goodness. Okay. And to wrap us up for today, this has been, girl, I have enjoyed you so much. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. This last question, it says, what encouragement would you give to the spouse who has too lost the love of their life and they're in a grieving process as well?
I guess just to make sure that you find a good support system. Yeah, when I say a good support system, I'm not talking about the people who just gonna like not tell you when you're right or uphold you in your wrongdoing, but some people who like they're gonna support you and they're gonna tell you when you're wrong and they're gonna pray for you and cover you and just, make you feel loved and appreciated. And also just to take care of yourself. Make sure I remember in the beginning, like if I took a bath, that's like a wonderful day. Like just make sure
Yeah.
that you are taking care of yourself and if you have kids, just show up. Even if you showing up at 10%, my kids would give 90 if I only had 10. You just gotta make sure that you continue to show up for the people who are around you because they still grieving as well. And this one part that Monique and everybody around me has been talking to me about, and my kids just got done with grief counseling, and it's been 2 years, and I need to do it, so I'm working on it. But that's important as well too, because I can see small changes in them as well since they have got done with theirs, and that every
Great
day
advice.
is not gonna be like a super good day. It could be a song. It could be a movie. Like all of his favorite things, like that will remind us of him. I know that we were in a restaurant the other day and a song came on. And my kid was like, "Oh, that's Daddy's favorite song." And Cam was like, "Can you put this song on my phone?" Like it's certain things that lets me know that they still think about it. And you just gotta know that kids got feelings too. They don't grieve the same way as you do, but they are still grieving as well. And that's it. That's it.
Avery, girl, thank you so much for even agreeing to do this. I appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
and I love you.
For having me. I love you too.
And I'm so proud of you
Thank you.
and
It's been a
glad to have you.
process. It's an ongoing process, you know. Could you be thinking like you're gonna be with somebody until you in a walker or something, and then something happens? Because this is totally not like what we had planned for each other, or not
Yeah.
what my kids were expecting. Like you be wanting you and your spouse to see your kids graduate, to see your kids get cars and just accomplish goals, or like any of y'all long term goals that y'all had together. It's like, do I still continue on those things? He gone. But you just have to know, like, you have to have some things for yourself. Like that's another thing that I didn't say when you asked me about advice. Because when that other person is gone, if they was your everything, like what are you gonna do now? You know. So you do have to have some of your own things that you like to do and own friends and own everything because yeah, it might not be forever like you think it is.
This was an amazing interview. It was an amazing interview. Seriously.
Yeah, I was
Seriously. And
nervous. I was nervous about it, but I'm glad that I did it.
I'm glad that you did it as well.
And I hope
And
that it helped your listeners as well.
I may be a little biased because you're my friend, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna help a lot of you guys that are listening. And Avery, if you don't mind, I'm going to do it a little different than I usually do. But I know there are going to be some people who are going to listen to this who may be walking through a grieving process as well. So I want to pray us out.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for this opportunity to do this interview with my friend Avery on today. I thank you for this conversation with her on today. Lord, I lift up those who may be listening to this, who may be coming across this episode, who may be walking through the grieving process as well, who may have lost a spouse, a loved one, the love of their life. Ask that you comfort their hearts, Lord, that you walk with them through this grieving process, Lord, whether they've recently lost someone, whether it's been years. Lord, we know that there is no timeline to grief. This grieving process is different for everyone. Lord, I just ask that you comfort them and that you be with them and that you give them what they need during this time. Ask that you give them a support system and a village to be with them, to support them and to love on them and to give them everything they need during this time. Lord, I ask that you encourage their heart, that you give them hope, that you give them faith, and that you keep their hearts open to love again. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your love. And bless my friend Avery and her babies, Lord. It's in your son Jesus' name that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much, girl. I appreciate you and I love
Thank
you.
you. I love you too.
All right, to my listeners, thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys thoroughly enjoyed this. Remember, I love you, but God loves you so much more. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Follow me on Facebook at Demo with Mo. If you have any questions you would like answered here live on my podcast, email them to me at demowithmo@gmail.com. That's DEMOWITHMO@gmail.com.